Hey everyone, Jonathan here. Apologies if I'm not looking 100% my best this morning. I had a bit of a late night last night. Enjoying the new Duke Nukem Forever Demo. It was released to the First Access Club members a little bit after midnight last night. Gave it a whirl. It's a 2-level demo, and I very quickly just want to kind of share some thoughts on it. Been putting my brain around it a lot over the past few hours or so, and wanted to kind of get some of these thoughts, maybe not on paper, but obviously on screen. First, a bit of a primer where I'm coming from. Duke Nukem 3D is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Crystal will testify on this one. I pull this game out literally every 2 years or so to replay it from one end to the other. It's a game that I've really spent a lot of time, and I can't necessarily tell you what it is about Duke Nukem 3D that's always appealed to me so much, but it's just a game that I've loved for a long, long time, 12 years or more to be exact. Actually, it's probably about 15 years now. And the problem is, of course, I've been direly waiting for a sequel to it to come out, and now, after so many false starts, after so many false hopes, Duke Nukem Forever landed on my computer, and I was able to install it and play it. And I've got to say, right now, thinking about it, I have kind of mixed emotions. Duke Nukem Forever did a lot of things right, did a lot of things very good, but there was just a lot I didn't like and was kind of irked by in the demo. We'll start with what I liked, just for convenience sake. First, the graphics and the aesthetics, both, a little nod to the extra credits guys there, were both very good in the game. It was designed very well visually, and like I said, it looked a lot better than a lot of the trailers and so forth kind of hinted at. It's definitely a solid FPS game. It's not the best looking FPS right out there right now, but it's definitely a solid entrance, something that I don't think should be ashamed of itself on that front. The sound and other things worked pretty well too. Duke's quips did get a little repetitive, but we'll get to that in just a minute. The gameplay itself was solid. The controls felt natural. For the most part, I had no trouble, figuring out what I was trying to do as far as the controls go. But where the game kind of went a little awry was that it frankly didn't feel like a Duke Nukem experience to me. Duke Nukem 3D is all about running, chest long into battle and blasting the alien pigs with your Gatling gun or your shotgun or whatever weapon you happen to have on you. And Duke Nukem Forever felt very much like a cover-based shooter. It replaced the life system like we were familiar with Duke Nukem 3D, where you pick up health kits and all that, and it replaced it with a more modern, they call it Ego. It's a system where you get shot, you get wounded, but if you find cover, it's able to restore itself naturally over time, and therefore you're able to continue playing the game. And that was one of the problems with the game, is that Duke seemed to take damage very, very, very easily in this game. It wasn't the nearly invincible Duke Nukem we saw in Duke Nukem 3D. This is a very mortal, very easily wounded one that has to find cover quick, and even against small groups of enemies has to find cover and shoot back. Another problem with it, a very similar theme, is that you're only allowed to carry 3 weapons at a time. You're allowed to carry a primary gun, a secondary gun, and a throwable weapon. A lot of this was probably covered actually in many of the pre-releases, trailers, videos, and so forth, but I wasn't following all of that as closely as I probably should have been, and I found that kind of annoying and kind of surprising. I really liked in Duke Nukem 3D being able to select from all 10 weapons at once and choosing which one was right for the situation and having a lot of fun with it that way. I know it hampers the game's realism or whatever, but the bottom line is, in this game, realism's already out the window. That's half the fun of it. So it seemed odd to try to put that element in. It felt very strange to be felt very out of place in a Duke Nukem game. Also on that front, there were a lot of cheap deaths in the demo. I died. I got fairly stuck in one portion, mostly because I couldn't figure out where to go, and I kept getting shot by aliens I couldn't really see or tell where they were coming from, and it was kind of frustrating there, and that led to some of Duke's one-liners getting repeated a little bit too much. He seems to change the one-liners he uses as he goes through the game, and that since I got stuck in one section, I kept hearing the same ones over and over again. But another reason I got stuck in the same section that reminds me is because there is no save feature, at least not in the demo. I'm kind of hoping that's just a demo issue. The saves are all checkpoint based, which to me is very frustrating because where the checkpoints are in the game felt rather arbitrary. There was a good, 5-10 minute run or so forth without any checkpoints, and then you suddenly got a couple back to back to back. So it felt kind of strange to me there. All in all, I did enjoy the demo. I think a lot of the problems with it, maybe just because it is a demo, and you played the first level, which you've probably seen the video of the first level online. It basically is a, I don't know if it's a parody, if it's an homage, or if it's just an outright knockoff of the first level of Halo, where the Master Chief is running through the battle unarmed, trying to find his weapons, and eventually Duke emerges with the Devastator into the arena in a finish a la Duke Nukem 3D, where you battle a giant monster with your Devastator in the middle of the arena. And of course it turns out to be a game within a game. It's all a big fourth wall joke, so it's pretty amusing. But the first level was absolutely great. I really did enjoy it. It was an homage to Halo. You definitely could see the parallels, but it was a good level. The level design was awesome, and it was just a lot of fun. The second level in the demo, I don't believe is actually the second level in the game. There's no plot continuity between those 2 points. So I'm assuming there has to be a decent amount of stuff between A and B, probably the duration of the tutorial. And so, basically just skip ahead to the part where you are actually playing the game, and in fact, you're skipping ahead to the part where you're driving. And the driving, I didn't really like. The monster truck Duke was driving was difficult to control. It was fun to run over the aliens, but the monster truck just felt unnatural. And even though I only died once there, it's because I couldn't see a jump ahead. It still felt very weird, very awkward, and I felt out of control almost the entire time I was driving it. So yeah, I know it sounds like I've got a lot of gripes about it, and I do. It's because after 12 years of wait, I have maybe higher expectations than I thought of the game. But it just didn't feel like a Duke Nukem experience. It was fun. I still enjoyed it. I spent probably about 45 minutes playing it. I did enjoy it. Am looking forward to getting my hands on the full game and going through it all. I do fully intend to beat it. But that being said, it does have its flaws. It does have its things I don't like. And the main thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't feel like a Duke Nukem game. And that's very frustrating to me after all this time. Right now, games like Painkiller, Serious Sam, to me, better represent the Duke Nukem experience than Duke Nukem Forever. But I'm curious to see if just maybe this demo was a poor sample of the rest of the game, and maybe, just maybe, the rest of Duke Nukem Forever will shine through and sort of go beyond the limitations of the demo. Those are my thoughts on the Duke Nukem Forever demo. Sorry, I rambled on a little bit longer than I intended to on the topic, but long story short, it's an interesting demo. If you're a First Access Club member, go download it, play it. You will not regret it. It is fun, but be wary. There's a lot of legitimate gripes with it. Jonathan Bailey, signing off.